Hi, I'm Sydney, and this morning I'm going to be watching Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I know a lot of you guys have been really looking forward to this movie coming up within the series, and there are a few things that I am aware going into this film. I know that it takes place within reality. I know Wes Craven's in it, Heather Langenkamp's in it, and it takes place in a world where the movie series Nightmare on Elm Street exists, like where Wes Craven made them. And then I think Freddy somehow comes into the real world, which would probably mean Robert Englund's in it playing himself too. So I'm curious to see how that dynamic works with him being himself versus him being playing Freddy still in that universe. So, but that's kind of all I really know as far as the plot. And then sorry, my lighting today sucks. This is like the only time I have time. I know there's been huge gaps between me posting my videos. I've literally had just like no time. So this morning I had free and I'm like, I'm gonna make this. Here we go. I love how already we have the classic theme coming in. This is super reminiscent of the first film. I feel like we're coming back to those original roots. Whoa, it's robotic. Oh my god, okay. Oh, like he's gonna chop off his own hand or something?
More blood.
Okay. I had a feeling it would transition right away into like the movie making thing. It just felt like I'm like a robot hand. Well, honestly, that is kind of the direction this franchise has been heading if they were to continue making them in the style they were previously.
Some of our best work. Hey, Monkey Man, you want to see some neat stuff?
Yeah. Chase.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Milo. I'm blanking on his last name. Kid actor. He's in Kindergarten Cop and Pet Sematary, and
I think the servos got shorted out with blood.
Well, take it apart, pull it
she
out,
looks
and
kind
insulate
of
'em with some
disturbed for being part of the universe.
I don't like that thing.
styrofoam. That thing puts bread on our table. Chuck!
Oh god, is this like a movie inside a movie or something? What is going on? Or is this all just a dream? Also too, if this was a movie prop, those things wouldn't be sharp at all. Even if it malfunctioned, it wouldn't be an issue. Oh my gosh, that headboard. My parents used to have that headboard. That's so random when I was a kid.
Jerry, blood.
It's nothing, guys.
Uh-oh.
We have to watch that.
5.3 on the Richter
Oh,
scale.
you turned it on.
I like how the Quake Watch sign, the lines almost are reminiscent of the Freddy claws.
Maybe you should tell me your dream.
Oh, it was nothing. It was.
I saw my fingers get nicked when the mirror fell. Dreams are like that.
I don't know.
I'll be back in no time.
To be honest, I don't feel the chemistry between them as husband and wife who like has a kid together. There's like a nicety about them, but it doesn't feel like, I don't know, I'm not loving their chemistry so far. Oh gosh. That is a freaky part of the movie. This is weird. It's not totally making sense so far.
Hello?
Like, is she dreaming again? What's happening?
Leave us alone, you son of a bitch!
LA limousine, ma'am. Just wanted you to know I'm out front.
Gosh, that almost felt like Scream, the way that voice sounded. Or was that Robert Englund's voice, maybe?
Done.
This kid's being extra creepy for absolutely no reason. Like the way he's walking and stuff, it's tough to... I wonder how old he is here in real life. He's so little, it's hard to... For how young he is, he's had quite a bit of like dialogue and moments. Sometimes ages like that, they're more passive characters.
How has all this success affected you personally?
Well, I don't know if it really has, Sam.
Gosh, these like masks and stuff like that.
Is Freddy really dead?
Of course he is. Freddy's dead and gone.
And how about your co-star in the original, in Nightmare 1? Would you trust him alone with Dylan?
Robert?
What the heck? What a weird question.
Best of the bad, let's say hello to Robert Englund!
Oh my gosh, she's in his Freddy getup. Something about the energy of everything feels... The energy of this world, it feels slightly off. It doesn't feel very like grounded in reality. It's already been kind of set up as like everything feels like it could be a dream or something. It's very strange. It's a little bit exaggerated, I guess, too. Because it is true that like Freddy's still a very popular Halloween costume. But I don't know if the Freddy phenomenon... Like, I don't think people would be dressed up like this at an interview like that, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
We really got you, didn't we?
I don't know why you didn't tell me that. Well, sure, when?
No time like the
Just like
present.
two
Already
random
over.
clowns, like jesters, like walking by. Okay.
Can I help you? I'm here to see Bob Shay.
How are you?
Great.
I'm trying to remember back from like the credits and stuff. Is this guy a real guy? And is he being played by the real guy?
Anyhow, a few weeks ago, I got a call from Wes, and he pitched me this really exciting idea. And I started thinking, you're the star.
And since you've been thinking of making it, has anything funny happened?
She just seems so triggered. Yeah, I don't know. Her like sense of panic, and I guess they gave us a little bit of context in that she's been having creepos call her house and stuff, which would be very unsettling. But why is she all of a sudden just like deeply engrossed that like Freddy's real? Well, I don't know, she hasn't quite said that, but she's like believing that in the nightmares coming through to reality. And yeah, I don't know. Okay, guys, I gotta say, I know a lot of you love this movie.
Rex is not going to die. I promise you, sweetie.
I just wish, I feel like this sense of fear and stuff would be more effective if they established a more grounded reality at first.
He's had some sort of a episode.
I'm coming home. I'll be there in 3 hours.
Yeah, her reaction's just not really fitting the situation.
The witch howled like a scalded cat, but Gretel ran and left her there to perish nonetheless. She ran to her brother as fast as she could and flung open the door. Hansel, Hansel, she cried, we're saved. The witch is dead.
That was a good little, like, mini monologue delivery from that kid.
And then their father covered them with kisses and they were safe.
There is such a back and forth delivery of like creepiness and then like cute sweetness from this kid. It's so weird.
Rex
Oh my
keeps
god,
him
they
down
sewed him up
there.
with red stitches. Okay, if that happens once, that's your sign to pull over, take a nap, take a break. I'm curious what year this was made. I'm not totally sure. My guess would be like early 90s, 1990, I don't know.
Religion.
Creepy vibes. What the heck?
Hello?
Police, yeah. Is her husband actually dead? It seems like it.
You open the door?
I'm afraid it's worse than that, ma'am.
That kid.
Is he dead?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to see it for myself.
Wow, yeah. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to set the stage now. Let's hit a reset button for my brain. Coming into this movie, I think I had way too high of expectations of what this movie was going to be, when it really still is like, it's just a little ridiculous. Like, what is this?
Can I help you?
Porter? Chase.
Yeah, like a lady could just walk in here and there's a body all cut open. Like, just everything about these moments feels like very, very unrealistic, particularly for it trying to be a movie that takes place in the real world. So much of it just feels not real. So maybe this is one of those moments of like, okay, it's not going to be what I thought it was going to be. So just like kick back and like enjoy it as another Freddy movie. We'll see. Even though there's been kind of little Freddy.
The head's gonna be all right for the funeral and all, but...
He was clawed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Rage and swell, and though the mountains shake at the tempest of the same.
That one guy looked like the actor from the first one a little bit, who plays, I'm blanking on his name. I don't want to say it's like Brock, but it's not it. Tina's boyfriend.
Stay with me, Heather.
Oh my gosh. Yay, I love this cameo. I think, is that the actor from the first one? Are these all people from the movies?
If there's anything I can do, Heather. Anything.
Thank you, Robert.
I mean, poor Robert. She's looking at him like, creepy. And he's just like an actor. Gosh. His translate state is a little bit ridiculous, but in a real world, I could actually see a situation where like Heather's kid, her whole reputation, career has been built off of her role in Nightmare on Elm Street. She's getting these creepy calls that are affecting their home life because of these movies. And simultaneously, this kid's being told, you're not allowed to watch this, even though it's such a big part of their life. So this kid's sneaking out or like getting every chance he gets, he like wants to watch the movie or is watching the movie. That kind of makes sense to me in some ways.
You have to sleep.
1, 2, Freddy.
Where did you hear that? Did you hear that on that movie?
Yeah, he was just watching the
Did you
movie.
answer the
Every day that the husband had passed, if I was her, I would have had Dylan sleeping in bed with me. Just like even as emotional support, Freddy stuff aside. Like, come on, have a kid with you. Thank you. Thank you.
Can you come with me in my dreams?
I think that only happens in the movies.
Okay. That was a good response. Within this universe, that script that Bob Shea was pitching to Heather, I'm like, ooh, I want to hear what that script is, actually. How would they bring Heather or Nancy back? That red goat bouncy thing looked a little demonic.
And you're not crazy, by the way.
Seeing Freddy in that grave feels pretty crazy, and then jumping...
You have a crazed fan after you. That's what's making you crazy. And probably Dylan, too.
I never mentioned that to him.
Kids know.
Yeah, kids know. Are you kidding me? The babysitter is standing there right with Dylan, and she's like answering the phone, screaming. What is he doing? It's pretty scary. That was a good shot. As far, it looks like he's up there.
Make sure he's okay, John. Yeah. God wouldn't take me.
Yikes. I don't know why too. Maybe just because it's a little boy. I'm getting like Damien the Omen vibes. Like he was going to go up there and be like, it's all for you. Even though that's like the lady saying that. I don't know why I got those vibes.
You're having nightmares about Freddy? As in me?
He's scarier. He's...
Darker. More evil?
Yeah. How did you know?
Call it a guess.
Is Robert having Freddy nightmares, which is so funny, like conceptually.
Do you have the script by any chance?
Well, Wes won't show it until he's finished.
Okay, wait.
I asked him how far he was at the funeral. What did he say? Oh, yeah. As far as Dylan trying to reach God, whatever that means.
Okay, yep. Yo. Is Wes just writing what we're seeing right now in the movie? Is it like hella meta? Because that explains why all of this feels super surreal.
And meanwhile, Robert, take care, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I think Robert's been having Freddy dreams too. In that, it's so funny because earlier I was like, I wonder what the script Wes is writing is. It's this. It's what we're watching, which is so layered. Okay, it's like, what's that? The Will Ferrell movie. I'm totally Stranger Than Fiction. I think that's the name of the movie, where she's like writing the story and it's happening to him, kind of like that. But then that's the question: does Wes actually know that what he's writing is causing all this to really happen? That classic shot. Oh, I wish it would have stretched a little more. It's interesting how this movie's decided to go with that. Well, I guess that's supposed to be the prop hand that the husband was working with. But yeah, even the Freddy we saw earlier had that sort of bone structure on the outside of his hand that was holding the knives. So yeah, I guess they're just trying to like make it new. Oh, Jesus.
Never sleep.
God, that's so scary. Yikes. Okay, I'm glad that was a dream. I'm like, Jesus, kid. That kid's got a good, like, evil, mean face. Oh, answer the phone. Spooky.
Yes.
I touched him.
Oh, no, they didn't. Oh, my God. They brought that back. Oh.
What do we have here?
Hey.
Just something to know for sure.
The teacher. I was wondering if this nurse kind of seemed familiar, but I was like, maybe not. But her.
But you gotta get better before they'll let you come home.
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 E.T.
Home, that's right.
Phone home.
That's where I want you, sweetie.
There you go.
Gosh, he looks really young to be. A lot of kids that age can't even swallow pills. Yeah, of course he cheeked it. But he's still going to sleep anyways, or I don't know, or he's just faking it maybe.
And now scientists are speculating there might be an unknown fault.
It's interesting, this background narrative of the earthquakes. I wonder if that's supposed to be symbolic of something, of like her.
We're out of town right now. You can leave a message if you wish, but we'll be gone for some time.
What does that mean? Yeah, and also that these buildings that are all. Was this after? Because I know was filmed after an actual bad earthquake or something. I don't know. That seems kind of in poor taste to do, though, if that's true. But that is also a very like California thing.
I can tell you what the nightmare's about so far. It's about this entity, whatever you want to call it. It's old. It's very old.
Is that a framed photo of Heather Langenkamp?
Yeah, well, I sort of think of it as a nightmare in progress.
Oh, I like the statue that's from Metropolis, I think.
However it happens, when the story dies, evil is set free.
Well, if Freddy is loose in your script, where's he gonna go?
He's decided to cross over out of films into our reality.
I love him just explaining this right now.
And there's somebody who can stop him.
You.
That person's you, Heather.
Yeah.
It's me.
I think the only way to stop him is to make another movie. Whether or not you're willing to play Nancy one last time.
Jeez, oh my gosh. The fade to black and then it fades to black. Oh my gosh.
Many of the symptoms of childhood schizophrenia are duplicated in children suffering from sleep deprivation.
The way that those old TVs used to like. Are the earthquakes symbolic of Freddy trying to like break through to reality or something?
Miss me.
Here we go. He looks so different here too. Oh my god, are his pants leather? I think they are. His like eyes shape and contacts are different.
Earlier he had some problems. He's in an oxygen tent just now.
What? Oh my god. Why wouldn't they have called her?
Every kid knows who Freddy is. He's like Santa Claus. Or King Kong, or...
Okay. Oh yeah, but earlier I was thinking it doesn't... Like, why is she even looking into childhood schizophrenia if she just had this conversation with Wes, validating her thoughts about the Freddy stuff and all of that? But then right after, it cuts to her being like, oh yeah, my child must have you know, psychological disease, and it's like, what?
Almost there.
Okay, Exorcist, okay. What?
Let's get him over good and proper. Cut this evil out of him.
Oh my god, she has the gray stripe again. You'd think that door would be locked if it was restricted.
Do you have a pass? Screw your pass.
It's all
Ah, that was awesome.
You know that home isn't far from here, right?
Right across the freeway.
Until Mommy gets back. Whatever you do,
don't fall asleep.
Keep him awake.
I'd be so tripping out if, like, if Heather was acting like that. Like, I'd be like, why are you acting like your movie? Like, why is no one calling her out straight up on it?
I said no.
do it.
Ow!
All done.
You'll be asleep in no time.
Oh my god.
You bitch.
What?
You can't do that.
Jesus. Oh my god. This babysitter. Oh lordy.
What's the matter?
Yeah, Freddy's look in this one is so different. It's not my favorite, to be honest.
Don't stop it. You're scared.
Contacts are just like a little much. I'm so glad they're seeing this. Okay, I want that head nurse to see this.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
What the heck is Skin the Cat? Classic.
Help me.
Wait.
This one nurse just getting like punched out and stuff. Oh, because he knows that home's just across the freeway. Oh boy, these graphics. How ironic, him walking in front of like the cars and stuff, kind of like Pet Cemetery. Well, this feels climactic. It's a weird combination of the green screen and then real traffic. Oh my god.
I know how Chase really died.
What do you mean?
Fred Krueger did it.
Yeah, sure.
It's funny because this parallels very much the first one of like the dad being the non-believer. And yeah, I don't know. It's just funny.
I'll be right back.
You could turn on some lights in the house. Here we go. I don't know. Yeah,
Why are you calling me Nancy, John?
Why are you calling me John?
What the heck? What the heck?
Nancy, pull yourself together before you make yourself and that kid nuts.
Oh my god. Yes, these callbacks are so fun. God, Freddy's prosthetics just look so thick and plasticky or something. Everything's a little too... His look is a little too uniform. Like the stripes of the muscles around his eyes and in the exposed areas. Was that also a Nosferatu reference? It was kind of hard to tell, but the shadow. Oh my god, if Nancy's house is there when she turns around, I'm gonna die. Is it? It's gotta be. Yes. Woohoo. It's crazy because did they say it's been like 10 years or something? Whatever the time period. She looks great. Like, she really doesn't look that different from the original, where she's basically a teenager.
You've given me a way to join you.
Oh my god, okay. It's like, girl, you gotta cool it taking those, because if the police or something find your body, it's gonna look like you just OD'd and killed yourself or something. Okay, wait, that looks super fun actually, though. Jeez, that's pretty crazy. This is an interesting set change of scenery. This is like the set from the very beginning of the movie, I believe. Yeah, I'm very curious about the choice of glove change from the glove to the bones thing. The paintings on the walls are interesting. I wonder, normally these sorts of sets are a combination of different elements from the Freddy universe. So there's like the boiler room vibes with the gates and the fire and stuff like that. But I'm not totally sure where these columns and like the artistic like wall paintings are being pulled from necessarily.
That everything she had experienced and thought was bound within these pages.
What's up with the coat and the leather pants for this movie? And yeah, that like green hat fedora thing earlier. Yeah, the turtleneck like.
Pick a pet for the rugrat bitch.
It's like Freddy, but like bougie Freddy. Like he's got some money for fashion. Is it like the 7 deadly sins or something like that? Why did it say lust? Yeah, anger. Yeah, it must be the 7 deadly sins or something like that. Oh, Hansel and Gretel. Yeah, I'm like, Freddy has no limitations. His arms could... Yeah, exactly. Okay. Okay. That looks a heck of a lot better than the original one. Oh, freaking Freddy and his freaking tongue. Ugh. God, what was I just saying? What was I just saying? Ugh. Oh God, that's so disgusting. You're holding a knife. Chop it off. Oh my God. Okay, this is getting silly. That looked pretty good, the double kind of coming out of his mouth. What the heck? Yeah, what's up with this like Roman or whatever? The like cinematic score.
We're saved. The witch is dead.
The freaking script? What does it say?
At last, Freddy's back where he belongs.
Is it a story?
Yeah, it's a story. Tools and
this is so crazy.
And the claws are moving now, as if awakening from.
I would not be reading this to him, but I get the like point of her to tie together. Okay, it's a weird little like remix. Parts of this motion picture were inspired by actual events. Others may be attributed to the overactive imagination of a 5-year-old boy. The names of certain of the characters portrayed have been changed to protect the innocent. Certain incidences portrayed have been dramatized with the exclusion of those courageous individuals who portrayed themselves. Any similarity to the name, character, history of any person living or dead is entirely coincidental and unintentional. That's funny because yeah, they usually always say something like that, like this is fictional, it's not related to anything, blah blah blah. So that's fun that they had to kind of address like, well, no, it is, but it's not too. Wow. I feel like that was the last Freddy movie, like really, because all we have left is Freddy versus Jason and then the remake, and that's it. So what a weird feeling. That was definitely a very bold, brave storyline to approach. I think, yeah, I'm trying to even picture like Wes Craven pitching it, but I bet executives were probably pretty stoked if he was the one to pitch this, because he'd been removed from the series for a little while, and him having such a name for himself at this point to come back, it's just such a unique concept, and it really is a weird combination of coming back to those familiarities of why people love Nightmare on Elm Street and got into it with those little tropes and iconic moments that were kind of scattered throughout, but particularly started to get heavy-handed in the last half of the movie, from the dialogue to the special effects and that kind of stuff or practical effects, and then simultaneously was just so fresh and unique at the same time. In the first portion of the movie, I was feeling a little bit, I guess, not super confused, but it just felt like the execution of what was happening didn't really make sense because all these surreal, spectacular sort of moments were happening, but I felt like they didn't build enough of a foundation for those things to feel appropriate, and what for what Heather's responses were as well. It just all felt a little bit bizarre. But then once they tied in the fact that his script is orchestrating everything, I was like, okay, that covers why everything feels a little bit surreal. I think I need this movie to sit and digest for a while, because to be honest, I'm not totally sure if this is one of my favorites of the series. After I finish Freddy vs. Jason and the remake, I'll do a total breakdown of where they lie in my favorites order. But I think Dream Warriors is in the original. All the Nancy ones are like at the top for me. So I did have high expectations going into this movie, and I'm feeling a little bit funny about it. I don't know how I liked it, because I do, as much as I like the concept, the execution of it didn't quite hit for me. Also, I felt like for how much right away they were leaning into the idea that Freddy's real and she's feeling threatened, like Freddy's gonna come to get her, something like that. There wasn't really that much Freddy in the movie until the very last portion. And even then, he kind of got his wit and stuff about him came back, and at the end it got real cheesy, kind of like those last movies with the tongue bit. But it wasn't my favorite version of Freddy. And kind of like all the other movies, it's like, how was he defeated? Don't really understand. He was just burned. Okay, I guess that works, like it doesn't fully answer anything. And it was funny how at the beginning I was like, yeah, this couple really just doesn't have the right chemistry with Heather and her husband. And then he pretty much dies right away. So I was like, yeah, probably a good call. Like, I don't know. They didn't feel that connected to me, honestly, or it felt forced maybe. I do think overall that the kid did really good for how young he is and for how much screen time he had and for how much of the plot sort of weighed on him. That is so hard. Generally, I don't find movies where a kid is being creepy scary. I don't know, it just, kid actors don't come across that sincere to me. So like, I do think there were a lot of moments in this where I was just like, it felt like I'm watching a child acting, especially when he'd go into those like, I'm Freddy sort of moments. But I think overall it wasn't horrible. It was good. But I do think that maybe pulling as much away from him would have been more effective as far as making the film scarier, maybe. I'm not totally sure. I'm not like a huge fan of children in horror in general. I don't know. So I was just kind of like, I feel kind of neutral about it as far as like in this film. Like probably could have used less of it, but it wasn't a huge negative to the movie either. It was just kind of I didn't love the trope of Heather's reality is becoming, shaken by all this Freddy stuff and the phone calls and these letters coming in and these nightmares. So she's questioning her reality and her sanity, but she knows what's real based off of her conversations. But then all these outside people, from John to the nurses and stuff, are like, are you okay? Like, what? Basically, her sanity is being put into question. The woman, is she crazy? Is she not crazy? Kind of trope. Just a little boring, a little over that. I would have been a little bit more curious to see. Yeah, I don't know. It was just it's such like a mental, fantastical plot setup. I almost would have been curious to see what if Freddy actually did come into the real world. Like, because I think a long time ago, now that I'm remembering, the scene where Heather's being interviewed and then Freddy comes in, and the crowd's super excited. I think, I don't know in what context, maybe it was when I was a kid on YouTube looking up stuff or something, but that specific moment just feels very familiar. And not knowing the context of the movie, I think I might have even thought when I'd seen that like, wow, Freddy exists in the world and people love him almost in the way that serial killers have fans and stuff like that. Like maybe Freddy actually exists and people are fans of Freddy in some weird twisted way. I don't know, they almost could have even gone that route. Like, what would the world look like if Freddy was real in that way? I'd be curious to see what that universe looked like. And also, like, is Wes just a total a-hole in this universe? What the hell? Like, he basically, like, what? I don't understand his motives. I don't think that's the point. This is where I start to really overthink it. But it's like, is he writing this whole script just for the sake of, I don't know. I'm overthinking it, I think. But it's just like, you just put Nancy through all of that, or Heather through all of that for the sake of this movie because you wanted to bring Nancy back? Or like, where is this power coming from that he's just writing this and it's happening? And I don't know, but I guess in it, the evil Freddy thing is real too. So that was his way of trying to defeat Freddy, was by using Heather. And I don't know, he was just kind of cheeky at the end, like with the little note and stuff on the script. It's just kind of like, you jerk. I think overall a fun concept. I think I had a little bit too high expectations, but I think it's interesting to see how he went from, I don't know what movie he did directly after this. I'm not even totally sure what year this movie is. Maybe I'll pop it up. But to see already, we're seeing those peaks of Scream conceptually come up as far as like the whole meta-ness, self-awareness, self-referentialness, if that's a word. 94. Okay. 94. I don't know why I said that like it was so shocking or something. Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't love Freddy's look in this film. I just think his prosthetic, it just looked too curated or something. Which maybe is kind of the point because they're very aware that he's a character or something. But regardless of the approach, it just looked a little too like manufactured or something, and the contact was just like kind of extreme. I don't ever remember him having such severe eyes like that, so it came across as a little Halloween-y. Not like Michael Myers, I mean like Halloween, like the holiday or something. I don't know. But it was fun to see Robert Englund playing himself and Wes Craven playing himself, and I don't know if I have much more to say. I think that's kind of it. I think this is one that I need to like sit with and see. I feel like I might appreciate it more as time goes on. Like, I know a few of these movies I'm like, I don't think I'll rewatch them. This one though, I'm like, I could rewatch this. Like, I want to absorb it a little bit more because it's very heady, which I can appreciate because so much of the other ones are like, you know, it's a very visual experience and just watching the kills and becoming more cartoony and the effects and stuff like that. And this one has a little bit more meat as far as if you want to overanalyze it like I do, then trying to think about like where the plot, where the motives are coming from, what are those meta layers, what's actually existing in this universe, what's not. So if the whole script is Heather's life, then, you know, what, she had no free will the whole entire time. So then, like, I don't know. There's a lot of, like, you know, deep questions you could ask within this plot setup. But yeah, so next we got Freddy versus Jason, I believe. Or Jason versus Freddy. Whichever way it is. We got that one next. And we're starting to come to that close of this series. It's pretty crazy, but I still think Freddy overall is like my favorite, or towards the very top of like my slasher icons. He's still up there as far as being a favorite, even though it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. Well, thank you so much for watching, and if you made it this far, you can consider subscribing or not, and that's okay too. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.